Hey everyone, and welcome to part one of our two-part Indiana Jones special. This week we're going to recreate a classic effect from Raiders of the Lost Ark, and next week we're going to recreate an effect from the new movie. The sacred wheel. This week we're recreating the classic face melt effect from Raiders of the Lost Ark. But we weren't the first people to create a backyard version of this Spielberg classic. I'm talking about Raiders of the Lost Ark, the Adaptation. This VHS shot-for-shot remake was started in 1981 by three 12-year-old friends. It took them 7 years to finish. These guys were the epitome of Indy Moguls before I was even born, and now they're challenging us.
My name's Eric Zala, director of Raiders Lost Ark, the Adaptation. How we did the melting face effect. Well, we were going to make a plaster mold. That didn't quite work out. In fact, we had trouble getting me out of the plaster. What we did instead was make a plaster mold of a mannequin's head. And Jason, our special effects whiz, mixed up this gore concoction, packed this hollow head. We took it out to an empty field and projected a photo of me onto the face, screaming, and took a double-barrel gauge shotgun and blew the head away, and gore splattered everywhere, and that's how we did the effect of my head blowing up. So, Eric Beck, I challenge you to take it to the next level.
Okay, but before we get started, we have to spin the wheel to determine our budget. Gary, spin the wheel.
Two white gumballs you can use as eyes, old crayons, 2.5 pound block of Amco Flex Wax, red Play-Doh, and of course a cheap skull. We got ours from skeletonfactory.com.
I would say different thoughts and different ideas, and obviously not a big corporate thing going on, not the mainstream stuff, just, you know, hardcore independence. Yeah. Indy Mogul fun, cheap filmmaking.
If your cheap skull has missing teeth like mine, just replace them with some plumber's epoxy and paint. The first step is to start filling in certain areas on your skull with cheap red Play-Doh. Focus on the temples, eye sockets, and jaw area. The name of the game for this build is wax. We're going to be painting on layer upon layer of colored wax to build up a human face. In order to deal with the wax, you'll need a double broiler, which is just a big pot half filled with water with a cook-safe bowl inside. Slowly melt down your first batch of flex wax. We're gonna start with red, but keep in mind all colors were achieved by melting down crayons in the mix. Paint on several layers of red, including a red wax nose. Next, heat up and apply several layers of white wax. For the inside of the mouth, I used some more red wax and made a wax tongue by dipping in a Play-Doh version into the wax and peeling it off. I also added detail like eyebrow ridges and lips by kneading some clear wax and sticking it to the face. When you're happy with the shape of your face, add a few layers of flesh tone wax. Finishing touches include makeup and crepe hair of your choice.
So now you've got a meltable face, but you need a way to melt it. We used a cheap heat gun that we had laying around the workshop, but in a pinch, you could probably use a hairdryer. The basic idea is to keep your heat source off camera, or use a green screen and crop it out in post. Either way, start filming with a fresh tape, melt away, and speed it up in post.
Okay, let's talk about the brand new iPhone. Now there are over 10 trillion first generation iPhones in service at this moment in time. That's more iPhones than people, folks. But despite this immense popularity, we found ourselves saying, how can we make it better? So we inserted this. It's a grain of sand from the Ark of the Covenant. Every new iPhone will be shipped with this tiny piece of the Grail tablet inserted inside of it. With the power of God inside this new iPhone, you'll be able to move mountains, crush armies, and shoot QuickTime video at 640 by 480. But that's not all. We've come up with a new feature we like to call iSmite. It allows you to unleash the wrath of God onto any person in your contacts list. Simply select whoever you want and make a swirling motion with your finger. Oh God. Oh Lord. No, this isn't right.
That's it for part 1 of our 2-part Indiana Jones special. Make sure and watch next week where we show you how to make a crystal skull. And tell us what your favorite Indiana Jones special effect is by leaving a comment down below. Okay. Damn it, how's he do it? Woo!
If you're shooting a short clip and don't have a tripod, to keep your camera more still, just take a deep breath in and hold it.